I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we are currently doing a series on YouTube on how to college and how to do it. Yeah.
Basically. And today's video is going to be about dorm living, roommate living, I guess, and how to deal with your room, your roommate, and how to act in your room.
Yeah. So we're going to start off by telling about our roommates and how we did or didn't like our roommates and so I guess I'll go first. So I met my roommate on Facebook, and she had just gotten off the wait list, so we I don't know how to describe it. I was like, hey, I messaged her, and I didn't find out till later that I was just kind of hey, do you want to room together? And we were kind of talking, and then I meant to just be asking her oh, have you thought of anything for the room? And she took it as oh, we're already roommates. And so later I was yeah, everyone asked how you met your roommate and stuff, and I was we met on Facebook. She was yeah, I thought we were just kind of talking to each other, seeing if we wanted to be roommates. And then she was yeah, so have you thought of anything for our room yet? So yeah, and it actually worked out really well. We really like each other. At least I like her. I hope she likes me. And she's really nice, and we get along really well. So that's how I met my roommate. And I actually have friends who were friends coming in to JMU or school or whatever, and they roomed together, and they actually got along pretty well. So, it's whatever you prefer. So, Stephanie, actually, tell your story.
I did random because going in, I didn't know anybody at all. Going to the school, I figured I'd have someone I at least met, but I didn't like anybody enough from orientation or things like that to room with them. So I did random, and so whoever they put me with, I found out 2 or 3 weeks before I came back from vacation, I would move in. And so I messaged her on Facebook, and I was like, hey, looks like we're roommates. And she was like, okay, cool. And we talked about what we would bring, the color scheme, whatever, which we ended up not even matching anyways, because green and yellow doesn't really go with purple, pink, and blue. So, yeah. And so we ended up not really being a compatible match. We were just completely different people, no communication or anything. And she was super stupid to me. I'm sorry, but I didn't really like her.
So yeah, so we both have very different roommate stories. She did random. I did Facebook, and I know someone who came up with their friend. So it's all up to you. It's all kind of hit or miss.
Just if you have a friend, be with that friend, but make sure you can get along with them when you live with them.
It's a lot different living with someone than just being their best friend and having sleepovers and stuff. You're living with each other, and the rooms are so small, and you're really close together all the time,
and if
you might get annoyed with
people. Yeah. So now we're just going to give some tips on how to deal with your roommate and living where you're living.
Yeah.
And how to deal with what happens when you live in a dorm.
Okay.
So the first tip is to tolerate your roommate. Definitely don't, if they get on your nerves like mine did, try and be relatively quiet about it. Bring up stuff that you simply can't handle. If they're super messy, ask them to pick up their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do if they play music you don't like, or they play an instrument and you don't want to hear it, or they sing and you don't want to hear it, just sort of deal with it. Find a way to
tolerate it.
Yeah, tolerate it.
Definitely, I didn't put this on the list, but definitely set rules. Maybe only play this instrument from this time to this time, and then I study from this time. Be respectful of each other. And
try to understand the other person's patterns and try and match it as well as you can. And if you can't, just be really respectful.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to do what you want to do and they want to do what they want to do. So
yeah, second semester, first semester, me and my roommate had the same schedule. We both had 8 a.m.s on the same day, and we both had the same 11:15 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we got up at the same time. But second semester, she didn't have classes till 10, and I had 9 a.m.s, so I'd have to get up earlier than her. But I wouldn't turn on our big light. I would turn on our little light to get ready, or get ready in the bathroom or whatever. You want to try to keep your roommate happy, because a happy roommate makes a happy room, which makes a happy you. That was stupid. If you don't like your roommate, that's okay, don't like her, but like, or him if you're a guy, but try to tolerate them. Like, you don't have to be best friends all the time, or at all.
No.
You just have to live with them. Like, you're not in your room that much usually.
It's only 2 semesters, so
yeah,
you'll make it.
and if you don't like them that much, then you can always try to like change roommates and stuff. Like, my friend didn't like her roommate that much that she switched roommates, but don't make it like a competition. Like, oh, I want my roommate to move out, so I'm gonna do this stuff, like mess with their stuff. Like, don't do that.
The next one is embrace where you live.
Not everyone's gonna live in Bluestone if you go to JMU.
No,
Probably.
you're not gonna live in a fancy hotel.
Like,
it's a dorm.
It's a dorm. Get over it. Like, my dorm didn't have air conditioning. It didn't have wireless. But my room was above the study lounge. Is the room right above it. So I could pick up Wi-Fi in my room, but nobody else could. But, so yeah.
Embrace it doesn't mean you have to, like, force yourself to love it. But,
Yeah.
like, it's the same as tolerating your roommate. If you can't tolerate where you live, then you're not going to make it because you're going to focus on what you don't like rather than focusing on other stuff like school and, like, you know, making friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I lived in Short Hall for people who go to JMU or are going to JMU, and everyone's like, oh, Shorts, it's right next to Eagle, and like, you know, we almost had a worse rep than Eagle this year just because of incidents, but like, there was never a boring moment ever. It was always entertaining. You were never bored, and you could always get a good laugh. So, you know, sometimes it's annoying when they're singing at 1 a.m. on a megaphone or microphone and blasting it to your room. But, you know, you'll learn to love it.
just try and make it positive.
Don't bring your whole family to move in. And the rooms are small. And if you don't have air conditioning, it's going to be hot and it's
gonna
going to
be
be real
hard to move
cramped.
around.
It's going to be real cramped.
Yeah.
And like, everyone else is like moving in their stuff, and like to put the rugs down, if you like get a rug. Did you have carpets in your dorm?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we didn't. So we, like, our dorm, for our dorm, we got like a full rug, and it was really nice. Like, everyone like commented how much more space they thought we had because we had a rug. It was just more homey. So bring a rug if you want it to be homey. But there's like people in our hall like with desks and like chairs, like, because they were like putting down their rugs and it was blocking the way. It was really crowded, and
if your entire family's there,
Yeah.
you're not going to have any room. I brought my entire family, my mom, my 2 sisters, my younger brother, and my aunt and uncle, and my cousin. So it was a big group of people in
it's
one
so
small room,
crowded.
and it was really hard to set up. I mean, we ended up, you know, setting most of it up. It took about like an hour and a half, but we made it. Just make sure, like, if you are gonna bring a big group of people, like
You have something for them to do.
like yeah, give everybody like work to do. And if they're not gonna have anything to do, like my aunt was pregnant at the time, so like have them sit somewhere.
Like, out of the way.
Yeah, if they want to see your room, like if it's dire for them to like, oh, I want to see where you're living, like have them like in a corner.
Yeah, or like
So-
sit them outside the room, like
Yeah.
outside, like not in your grill, and then have them come in with your
Yeah,
stuff.
just make sure that you like have enough room to get things done and maybe like have dinner with them before they leave you
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
a month.
Some people like to rip it off like a Band-Aid and be
Yeah.
like, bye, see ya. Like, some people like...
I milked it.
Yeah, I milked it. Like,
I
it's,
milked it.
don't be ashamed. Like, sometimes it is easier to just, like, let them go. But, like,
I went to dinner
you know.
with my family. My mom made my bed.
yeah.
My
yeah,
sisters
like, my
helped
mom
me
wanted
put
to
my
make
clothes
sure
away.
like, I was all settled in. Like, you know, and it, like, it was good because, like, if, like, something was out of place, I would get really nervous. Like, oh my gosh, I have to do all this stuff, like, blah, 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 and I wouldn't have enjoyed
So like
the week.
if you want to rip it off like a Band-Aid, do
Do
it.
it.
Just make your family leave. But
Just
if
be
you
like,
don't,
bye.
just, you know,
You can milk it. It's okay.
have them help you with everything.
Yeah, like, because then, like, you can enjoy your week, like, so much more, and you won't have to stress about, like, unpacking, because, like, your first week is so busy.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for part 2.